everyone. Today I want to show you how I approach doing a proper push-up. I've had a few ladies actually reach out to me and ask about how to get better at doing push-ups. So I'm going to show you how I approach doing them, and I am all about doing really good quality movement no matter what it is that you're doing. And so with push-ups, especially for us ladies, upper body movements can be more challenging for us. So I'm going to show you how to maintain a really good quality position and gradually potentially build your way up to a full-on push-up if you don't have one already. So there's a concept in CrossFit of virtuosity, and that is just being able to do the common uncommonly well. And that is how I teach people to do push-ups, because of course, I'm sure you have seen, I know I have seen a lot of different kinds of push-ups out there. And I want to be able to do a full range of motion push-up, maintaining midline stability, just so I'm getting the most out of it. And that's what I want for everyone else. So I am going to teach a push-up where you're really maintaining a tight midline position and being able to push your body in an actual plank position up and down off the floor versus in some sort of arched or rounded or, whatever other kinds of positions people come into, or doing like a partial range of motion. So here's how we're gonna start. This is going to be the foundation for what I consider a proper push-up. I know other people have other ways of doing it, but we're going to start at the bottom of the push-up. Okay, so hopefully we can get, yes, my torso's in line. So you're going to come just to lay all the way on your belly on the floor. Okay, and in this position, your toes are tucked under. I know you can't see my feet, but you're going to keep your knees on the floor. You're gonna squeeze your glutes literally as hard as you can, and then you're gonna act as if you're trying to pull your belly button away from the floor. Even if it doesn't actually come off of the floor, you want that action. So I'm gonna relax, and you can see how my belly dumps and my low back is arched, which is natural, but we don't wanna excessively arch the low back. So you're going to squeeze your glutes and then pull your belly away, and that's going to set yourself in a neutral position. And this is the position that we want to be able to press away from the floor from and maintain. I'm sure you've seen people doing other variations of push-ups where the hips are low and maybe you just do a partial range like so, or maybe there's another version where the hips stay high and only the chest goes down, right? We want to literally find a plank position where in plank, you squeeze the glutes, you pull the low belly up and in, and you maintain that midline stability as you move through the full range of motion push-up. Okay, so that would be the first drill that I would have you try in developing a good quality push-up. Is you're just gonna come to the very bottom position, you're gonna squeeze your glutes, you're gonna pull your belly away, and then keeping your knees on the floor, you're gonna just press into the floor and just barely hover off the floor and see if you can maintain that position. You're not actually trying to press all the way to the top just yet. You're just trying to get a feel for engaging the glutes, the belly, and finding that almost hollow body action through the midline. And then just creating some tension by pressing into the floor without actually lifting the body off the floor, okay? So especially if we are not able to press our body up off the floor, maintaining that position, then we most likely need to begin by being on an elevated surface, okay? So I would say number one, figuring out that body position and then doing just like a static hold where you're pressing into the floor. Next, of course, would be being able to just hold a nice plank position with the wrists right underneath the shoulders, and you're in that hollow body action through your midline. We're not letting the hips dump, and we're not arching the back with the hips high. Okay, so holding the bottom position of the push-up and then holding a regular plank. Next, is I would suggest finding a surface that allows you to get a full range of motion push-up. So that means you're fully locked out at the top, you touch your chest to the surface beneath you, and then you fully lock out at the top again. So I have a stool, but you could use literally anything. So you could use a countertop, the back of your couch, a table, a chair, a bench, really anything. And if you're looking to develop your strength in a push-up, then you want to find a height that you can complete the full range of motion. And then as you get better at that, then you gradually start to decrease the height of the object you're pushing on, right? So let's just say I take this bench, for example, and this is a good height for me to establish that same body positioning we just went through. And I can take my chest all the way to the bench and then press away, holding that nice plank position. Okay, so we're going for full range of motion. This would be the next thing that I would have you practice if you're trying to develop your strength in your push-up. So again, you're just gonna gradually decrease the height as one height gets easy and doable, okay? So let's just say I've gone through that and I'm getting to a point where I'm getting fairly low to the floor with the height of my object. Another option would be to do knee push-ups. Again, we want full range of motion. So let's just say I'm in my plank position. To get set up for the knee push-up, you're in just regular plank position, and then you let the knees come down. So notice that in a knee push-up, the hips are forward of the knees, but I'm still in this tight, hollow body type position where my glutes are squeezed, my belly's pulled up and in. Okay, so in this position, I don't have my knees stacked underneath my hips, and I'm not letting my hips sag down, okay? So I'm still tight in that position, and then I take my chest all the way to the floor, I press it back up. If that is too difficult to go all the way to the floor and press up, maintaining that stability, then what you're gonna focus on are negatives. So you're gonna control the descent of the push-up, taking your chest all the way to the floor, slowly and with control, and then just relax and basically peel yourself up off away from the floor. So what I mean by this is, and we can do negatives from the knees or from the toes. So you're squeezing your glutes, you're squeezing your belly, you're gonna count maybe for 3 seconds or whatever you can do, right? You're gonna go down with control, 1, 2, 3, take it all the way down. And then if we are not able to maintain stability through our midline and press up, and what it turns into is like you're trying and you just strain and you end up hurting your back, then you're just gonna relax and kind of just peel yourself up in whatever way you can. And then you reset your position and you go down slow for say 3 counts all the way to the bottom, relax and peel yourself away. Okay, so negatives are a really great way to start training that strength. So you're just focusing on controlling the descent, taking your chest all the way to the floor. So if going from the knees becomes doable or easy, then of course you can do the same thing from the toes, right? So we can control the descent all the way through plank down to the bottom of the push-up. And then this is where maybe you then plant the knees, hold on to hollow body, press through the knees and reestablish plank. And then you can control that negative. And if pressing away is hard from the toes, then plant the knees, press up and reestablish plank. Okay, so those are some ways that I would suggest that you do to get better at your push-up. So you're thinking about establishing that midline stability at the bottom of the push-up and practicing just pressing into the floor and holding that position at the very bottom of the push-up. Then you're going to practice just a good quality plank, holding that for a certain amount of time. And then you're gonna find a height of an object, whether it's a chair, a bench, whatever, a table, and do a perfect push-up, full range of motion, all the way down, all the way up, gradually decrease the height. And then you can work on negatives also, where you do a slow count from the top of plank, whether from your knees or from the toes, and just count, say 3 counts to the bottom, relax and just get up and reestablish the position from the top. And you can make that more challenging over time by, say you start with a 3 count lowering phase. Once that becomes somewhat doable, maybe you go to 4 counts, then you go to 5 counts, right? And if you start those negatives on the knees, at some point you're going to try to do that from the toes. And then if you get toe negative push-ups, then you're going to press away, keeping the knees on the ground and then reestablishing plank. So anyway, that's how I approach doing push-ups. I hope this is helpful for you. Let me know if you have any questions. But that is what I would do to develop a push-up. All right, guys, good luck. And yeah, let me know if I can help in any way. Have a good Friday.